Hello, this is Apostle Dr. Jewel Williams with our last part of the Grow Up series. 1 Corinthians 13:11, you should know the scripture by heart. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. So I've gone through all week and I've talked about when I was a child, when you first came to Christ, you was limited in your ability. You talked like a child. Your conversation was still childish and filled with immature topics. You thought like a child. Your mindset had not yet been developed into the mind of Christ, so you still was selfish. You reasoned like a child. Because you hadn't been trained, your mindset hadn't been focused, you still were immature and unable to grasp the finer, deeper concepts of the word. And so you were still selfish, self-seeking, and self-focused. Now, we're going to deal with when I became a mature person. And so today I'm really talking about we've grown up. Paul then says that there comes a time when we have to stop being this childish person or immature in our walk with God. And he said basically we need to grow up. Just as we have to grow up in the natural, we need to grow up spiritually so that we can put away all the spiritually childish things. What does that look like? So when I became a man or a woman, when I became mature, in other words, when I stopped dwelling in those places where I was self-seeking, where I was selfish, where I was me-focused, I then handled it like an adult. I handled it in a more mature way. I stopped being a part of fruitless conversations. Don't let your ear gates become a dumping ground for fruitless conversations. Don't let people come and dump on you and then you now are dealing with all of this stuff. So you, in your maturity, you stop letting anybody just tell you anything about anybody. You stop just automatically believing everything and you become an investigator, if you will. You investigate, you dig into the truth of things. So you can't just come to me and say person A does this, that, and the other. I have to look at some things. Well, what was person A like to me? What is person A's reputation? I got to dig. I got to ask God, God, you tell me about person A. Now, if God tell me person A is a certain way, I don't care if everything else looks great. If God says that person is not right, then I'm going to ask God, what do I need to do? So there's a growth that happens in you. You know how to show up in relationships. You don't show up being having temper tantrums. Because you think about a child, they don't get what they want. What do? They fall out on the floor, roll around, have a temper tantrum. God says time out for spiritual temper tantrums. So we learn how to be patient and wait on God. We learn how not to complain and grumble and mumble, because the children of God, they complained and grumbled all the time. And you know what happened to them? They wandered for 40 years. I don't know about you. I'm not trying to miss entering into my space because I was complaining about something and grumbling. So we learn how to grow up. He says, so when I was a child, yeah, when you were little, when you were first come to Christ, the expectation that you didn't know any better, so you couldn't do any better. My mom used to say, when you know better, you do better. Well, Paul is admonishing us and saying, hey, you've been around long enough to know better. If you don't know better, that's because you have not been doing the work that you needed to do, or I haven't been doing the work that I need to be doing. It's another scripture where it says you shouldn't be still on milk. You should be on meat. We need meatier things. See, a digestive system of a child can't handle meat, right? And I don't even just mean meat. I mean heavier food. They need that milk or already broken down food for them. It got to be broken down real fine because the digestive system could not handle it. But your digestive system, what you can digest as a mature one, should be a lot more than a baby. So therefore, there's a maturity level in what you should be digesting from the word. Oh, that you'll catch that one tomorrow. You and I should be able to digest more of the word because we have been maturing in our relationship with God. So when I was a child, I talked like a child. I'm not talking like a child no more. I thought like a child. My thought processes are more mature. I reason like a child. I'm no longer reason from a selfish place. But when I became a man, when I matured, I put these ways of childhood, these talking like a child, acting like a child, responding like a child, having a tantrum like a child, all of those childish things I have put behind me. So my encouragement today, let's grow up. God bless.